Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So today we're going to look at the modal verbs could, would, and should. Okay, so let's start. So could, would, and should are all used to talk about possible events or situations, but they all tell us something different. So could is used to say that something or an event is possible, it can happen. And would is used to talk about a possible or imagined situation, and it's often used when that possible situation is not going to happen. Okay, so for whatever reason, this is not going to happen. And finally, should is used to say that something is the right thing to do, or that someone must do it, or that someone ought to do it. So let's have a look further. So the first one we're going to look at is could. So here's the example. Emily could join us for dinner on Friday evening. So in this situation, could tells us that it is possible Emily will join us for dinner on Friday evening. Maybe she can join us, but maybe she has other options too. Okay, maybe she's been invited for dinner with other friends, for example. So we usually use these words in different situations. So I've put them in different sentences so that you can understand it a little bit better. So the dark blue text box is the example, and then the light blue is a little bit more of an explanation. Okay, so Emily could join us for dinner on Friday evening, but she has other plans. So, the explanation, she is able to, but she chooses not to. Okay, she chooses to go out with somebody else, for example. Example number 2, Emily could join us for dinner if she is not working. So here we can see Emily usually joins us for dinner, but only if she's not working. Okay, example number 3, if you want to go to the cinema on Friday evening, Emily could join us for lunch instead. So here we mean we can change our plans with Emily and go to the cinema because Emily can join us for lunch on Friday instead. So here we know that Emily is free on Friday, so we can change our plans because we know that Emily could come anyway. Okay? Now let's look at would. So here we say Emily would join us for dinner on Friday evening. So here we can imagine that Emily wants to join us for dinner, but it is not possible. She wants to join us, but she can't for whatever reason. So for example, maybe she's busy or maybe she's working. Okay? So Emily would join us for dinner on Friday evening if she had a babysitter. If she had somebody to look after her baby or her child, she would join us. So the explanation, she wants to, but she is unable to. Here we can imagine a situation where she has a babysitter and she will come. So Emily would join us for dinner on Friday evening if she had a babysitter. But unfortunately, she doesn't have a babysitter, so she can't join us for dinner. Okay, example number example number 2. Emily would join us for dinner on Friday evening, but she is working. So this means that Emily is willing to come for dinner. It means she wants to come for dinner, but she won't because she's working. So here we can imagine that she wasn't working and was able to join us for dinner. Okay, so if she wasn't working, she would join us for dinner. But unfortunately, she's working. That means she can't. Okay. Example number 3. If we were going to have dinner on Friday evening, Emily would join us. Okay. If we were going to have dinner on Friday evening, Emily would join us. But she can't because we're not having dinner on Friday evening. But imagine if we were. So if we were having dinner on Friday, she could come. But unfortunately, we're not having dinner on Friday evening. Okay. And the last one here is should. So Emily should join us for dinner on Friday. This tells us that Emily joining us for dinner is a good idea, or it is something that she is obligated to do. So something that she must do, something that she needs to do. So for example, maybe it's her mum's birthday dinner, for example. Okay, so she should go to her mum's dinner. Okay, again, let's look at these examples in a little bit more depth. So, Emily should join us for dinner on Friday evening because we haven't seen her in a long time. So this means it's a good idea for Emily to visit us if she can. Okay? The second example. Emily should join us for dinner on Friday evening before lockdown starts next week. So here it means Emily must join us for dinner on Friday because she will not be able to at a later date. So if she doesn't come on Friday, that's her chance. It's gone. She won't be able to join us for dinner until a later date. So she should come. Okay, it's a good idea. She should come. And the last example, if Emily wants to meet my new boyfriend, she should join us for dinner on Friday evening. So to meet my new boyfriend, she must come to dinner on Friday. So if she doesn't come to dinner on Friday, she won't have a chance to meet him. Okay, so it's a good idea that she comes to meet my new boyfriend. So to summarize, could is used to talk about something that can happen. Okay, that it's possible, it can happen. So for example, he is free. Okay, so he could come to dinner because he is free. Would is used to talk about something that will happen in an imagined situation. So for example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a Ferrari, for example. Should is used to talk about something, sorry, there's a mistake here. Should is used to talk about something that ought to happen or must happen. So I have an exam in 2 weeks' time, so I should study for my exam. I should, because if I don't, then I might fail. So I ought to. Okay, I ought to study for my exam. Okay, so here you have some questions. Okay, you've got 6 questions to complete using either could, would, or should. So it's a good idea now if you want to pause the video and complete the questions, and then once you unpause it, we'll go to the next slide, okay? So complete these sentences with could, would, and should. So here are the answers. So number 1, everyone should wear seatbelts. Everyone should wear seatbelts. So they ought to, they are obliged to. By law, they should wear seatbelts. If they don't, they're going to get in big trouble. Maybe they will get a fine, okay? Number 2, I'm free on Saturday. I could look after Peter for you. So I could, it means I can. I'm free, I'm available. Number 3, he said if he wins the lottery, he would buy me a big diamond ring. Hopefully. So this is an imagined situation. So we are imagining that if he wins the lottery, he would buy me a diamond ring. Okay? Number 4, I told them we would probably be late because we've got a meeting at 5. So I told them we would probably be late because we've got a meeting at 5. Number 5, people should drive more carefully. They ought to, they must drive more carefully because that's the right thing to do. Number 6, Daniel said he is free on Saturday. He could pick you up from the train station. Okay, so he could, it means he can. He's free, he's available. Okay, so I hope that you got most of these, or hopefully all of these questions correct. If you have any questions, leave a comment or send me a private message and I can help you. And I hope that this video was of use to you. Okay, thank you. Take care.